We will see. So, free movement right is Article 18 of the Community Treaty. And it says, every citizen of the Union shall have the right to move and reside freely within the territory of the Member States, subject to limitations and conditions laid down in the treaty. So everybody has free movement rights. Unfortunately, the article speaks about limitations. And I provided several cases that allow us to see how limited the limitations are as construed by the European Court of Justice. If we just list the rights, the voting rights are in Article 19 EC. What kind of voting rights can we expect from the European legal order?
Right.
Yeah, what kind of voting rights? We can think about voting rights at different levels. At least like subnational level, national level, supranational level. What kind of levels are covered by community law, do you think? Yes, certainly supranational level. And then they will vote for the European Parliament. What about the national level? National parliaments?
National level should be defined by the constitution or something of each state.
Yeah, national level is up to the states to define, so we cross it out. And what's about subnational level?
I think it is granted. I think it is granted by law, European Commission.
Oh, it is also a national level.
Subnational level belongs to European law as well. Because this is the easiest way to integrate those European citizens who use the free movement right. So once you use the free movement right, the member state where you reside doesn't want you to exercise too much powers, and at the national level where real politics happens, but why not let you vote for the municipal council that is responsible for removing the rubbish from your street, or for cleaning the windows in your street, etc. Or like maintaining the police corps in the district where you reside. Obviously, this kind of rights should be granted, because otherwise not granting these rights will discourage people from using their free movement rights, because they will be totally disconnected from the political sphere of the new member state of residence. So these rights are granted by Article 19 as well, but not directly. So this is Article 19. These rights are Article 19.1, 19.1, 19.2 BC. But the most important right there are other rights obviously, but other rights are not that important because they go about the communication with institutions and consular protection rights. They are not absolute, because consular protection rights, for example, depend on the recognition of these rights by third countries and cannot be granted by the community with certainty. And the communication with institutions is simply a minor right which cannot be compared with free movement and political participation. But there is some other right which is inherent in the very idea of citizenship. Like especially Americans emphasize that citizenship can be determined with one word. What would this word be? Freedom of speech is extremely important in the US system, but it's not only granted to citizens.
Liberty. Liberty.
Yeah, yes, liberty. And what is one of the equality? Equality is one of the most important components of liberty.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have slavery. That's why everybody votes for representatives, etc. So everything is covered by equality. That's why all community rights can be viewed through the prism of equality. And equality gets a very, very interesting interpretation in community law. It mostly consists in non-discrimination on the basis of nationality. So equality means, Article 12 we see, it means that you cannot be discriminated on the basis of the nationality of the member state which you hold. It means that a Greek enjoys exactly the same rights in community law as a Finnish person, or a Lithuanian enjoys exactly the same rights as a national of Portugal. So all the 27 nationalities are absolutely equal for the purposes of community law. And here we come to a very interesting issue. So what is it exactly, the material scope of community law? Because equality only applies there. If you cannot demonstrate a connection between your situation, your concrete situation, and community law, then equality doesn't apply. It means that the requirement of equality is limited. Non-discrimination is limited by the material scope of community law. So it's when equal situations are treated differently and different situations are treated equally. This is discrimination. And this is very important here to realize which is an equal situation and which is a different situation. I'm now explaining why your example is not an example of discrimination. So you said that you could, as a Hungarian, you cannot join the British Navy.
Yeah.
So you presume that you, as a Hungarian, can be compared with a Brit for the purposes of serving in the Navy. Because unless there is no comparison possible, there is no discrimination possible. And then we need to check the European Community Treaty to find out whether you actually find yourself in a comparable situation with a Brit. And for that, like there is Article 39 for the free movement of labor. But it applies special regime to the service in the armed forces. It says that the principle of free movement of labor does not apply to this case. It means that you don't find yourself in a situation comparable to a Brit. It means that there is no discrimination possible because this is not because there is no comparison. This is a different situation. So to allow you to go to the British Navy under the law as it stands today would be discrimination because it would be treating different situations equally. What I want you to understand is that discrimination is not only differentiated treatment of something that is equal, but also vice versa. So if you treat equally two persons in totally different situations, then it's also discrimination. And there is a great example